yes. Oh, we'll rise up. Yes, we'll rise up 1,000 times again. You're tuning in to Goodness from the Goddess Radio. If you're under the sound of my voice, you're listening to the Goddess Builder, affectionately known as Kenya Pope of kenyapope.com. And super excited for your Goddess Mindset Moment for all of my Goddess Builders, all of you independent business owners, all of you healers, authors, writers, teachers, speakers who've decided that it's quite all right to make some paper on what you know how to do best, on your creative genius. And so I'm excited to be a guide for what I call Goddess Builder CEOs who have declared that it is their divine birthright as women to live a bold life of big balance and business, right? And so I've been in business 9 times over. I am what people like to call a serial entrepreneur, but I've actually invested a PhD worth in my training. And it's just my honor to be able to capsize over 15 years of training into these 10-minute nuggets for you on your morning wake up, Mondays through Fridays. So today's message for you is called How to Bring Profitability into Your Business Plan. And this is super important. And what's so interesting for this message, of course, I speak from the divine feminine goddess perspective, and there's some brothers who show up who honor and cherish this divine principle of femininity. And so I respect that the brothers are in the space allowing balance. And what's so interesting about this whole thing about business for us, right, as rising gods and rising goddesses, is our business model is what I call New World business. So inherently, we want to take care of other people, right? Whether you're a speech pathologist, whether you're a school psychologist, whether you're an educational trainer, whether you're an attorney, or you're an inspirational speaker, or a best-selling author, or even some of my Indigo sisters who are, serious in their ministry or their spiritual practice in order to help bring other people abundance. We all have one tying bond, right? And the bond that holds us in common is the principle that we are here to leave a difference on the world, to create a positive impact. And so without the proper training, right, without the proper business mindset, we can lose all sense of profitability. And we can lose all common sense too, right? Giving away things from our business, from our warehouse, from our shelves, from our inventory, in order to satisfy this idea that we're a good person, that inherently we're a good person. And so I really want to shake that up and really help you to step outside of the service model, which is what we've been trained to think of our business as, so that you can actually become profitable. And here's why, right? When you think of business, right, you think of really, let's say before we were introduced to our own business, we would go to shops, right? Either our parents would take us on the weekends to shops, or when we got of age, we would go to malls or shops in order to get the things that we needed or wanted, right? So for us, we really weren't buying a service, we were buying products. And for some of us, we would still go back to businesses like Denny's, where we realized that the service wasn't great, the treatment wasn't great. We would still go back because of the product and what the product meant to us and for us in our lives. And so if we fast forward to today, a lot of us still do this, right? I've learned that there are quite a few businesses that do not support my community, that actually do the opposite of supporting my community by investing in the prison industrial complex. But how many of us continue to spend our dollars with them? You know, how many businesses are walking into our communities, setting up shop, open all year round on holidays and weekends, collecting our money, and we're never holding them to the fire to invest in us. So service is not necessarily what your clients are buying, right? So if you set up your business model to be a service provider, you're not getting paid. You're not getting paid. Now, service can be a value within your business structure. So that's pretty important when we're talking about the vision and the culture of your business. But overall, to build your business, that your primary role is to provide a service, it limits your ability to charge for value. So here's what I want to tell you. What I want to tell you is that you have value in the marketplace. You are inherently designed to bring your gifts to the marketplace. This is a completely different conversation. And your gifts, because of their value, are profitable. So I want you to write this down. I have valuable gifts that I bring to the marketplace. My gifts make my business profitable. My profitable business affords me my lifestyle. So those are your 3 affirmations for today to really soak in this mindset. And I want to lock it in with this one particular closing thought, which was really an experience that I had. I love telling this story because it really drives home the point of value versus service. I remember about 2 years ago, I wanted to take my son to an event. And, I want you to think about yourself in this scenario as I give it to you. Funny thing is, we weren't driving at the time, so I called for a cab service. The weather report had called for snow on that day, but we were committed to going. No cabs were coming, so we actually just walked to the major intersection and then hailed a cab. And so that cab ride to the event was about $20. We got to the event. It was absolutely awesome. I was so grateful that we went. My son had an awesome time. And I'll give you a shout out to the event a little bit later. But they're doing amazing things for young men. It was a young black male mentorship program. Say that together 3 times. And so as the event was going on, there were, many breakout sessions and work groups. The announcers called our attention to the fact that the snowstorm had begun and it was getting very dangerous. And he suggested that we all sort of secure ourselves and get home, even though the event was not complete. And so I tried to make a couple of phone calls for friends of mine who drive to see whether they would be able to come and pick us up. The answers were no, because their blocks were snowed in, the plows had not come through yet, and their cars were under snow. Now, needless to say, the transportation system has shut down already, meaning trains and buses. Everything is shut down. Cabs were definitely not running. So I realized that I was running out of options, right? Think about your clients in this story and how they're really wanting to get something happen and they're running out of options. So as I was running out of options, I remembered a certain link to an app that I could download to my phone, which would connect me with a car in my area. So I went for it. And I was so grateful when this, crossover vehicle came to pick us up. And when that crossover vehicle came to pick us up, we rode over snow. We rode in the middle of the snowstorm, and we made it home, however long it took us. And at the end of the ride, I realized that the trip, because I can monitor it on my phone, the trip was about $97. And my only thought in that moment was, thank goodness I have the $97 to get home. So the crux of this story is what? Not that your price is too high, not that the service was so much more immaculate that I must pay more, but the value of me getting from where I was stranded to where I really wanted to go made it worth it for me, made any price worth it for me. And this is what I want you to think about as you're developing products and services within your business model, within your value-based business model, that you are an option. You are a viable solution to your clients when they've run out of options. And when you realize that, you can push yourself from pain and poverty to profitability in your business. So thank you for tuning in. This is Goodness from the Goddess Radio. Please take the time to download the free app to your smartphone, eLife Media. ELIFE, like everlasting life, media, and tune into us on Goddess Radio every Friday from noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Meanwhile, see you at www.kenyapope.com.